Well, to remind you once again, the first most important thing in any piece of written discourse is to find out who is talking to whom, where. Okay, who is the speaker in this case? Who is the big who in this case? Now, I'm not talking about the characters within the story. I'm talking about who is the speaker of this particular passage. Who? Well, everybody, all together. It's Helen Keller. All right, Seki, why don't you come here? 君が考えたようにやっていただきたいと思います。よく聞いて。Listen to her very closely.
One day, while I was playing with my new doll, Miss Sullivan.
そこのところですがね、ニュードールだけど、ニュードールですか、ニュードールですか、どうですか、どうですか、ニュードール、なぜ？そうなんですよ、前はないですからね、ドールなのかドッグなのかわからんですから、My new doll、形容詞を積んないよね、My new doll, Miss Sullivan put my big、その次は
Ragdoll。
そう、Ragdoll が最初からあった人形なんですけれども、話としては2番目に出てきてますから、My new doll, Miss Sullivan put my big ragdoll で十分なわけですが、ragdoll 強めることを忘れない。Ragdoll into my lap also、はい、それから
Spelled D-O-L-L and try to make me understand that D-O-L-L apply to both.
Apply to both に apply to both どっちですか、どっちですか。つまり、君たちは分かるわけですけれどもね、ヘレン・ケラーには分からない。D-O-L-L って言葉は古い人形と新しい人形、人形には全て当てはまるんだ、両方に当てはまるんだという。D-O-L-L apply to both. Both.
D-O-L-L apply to both.
そう。
I became impatient at her repeated attempts, and seizing the new doll, I dashed it upon the floor. I was keenly delighted when I felt the fragments of the broken doll at my feet.
はい、ストップ。数箇所、僕は賛成できない箇所があるというか、君の考えているのと違うところがありますがね、みんなはどう思いました？君の解釈の仕方。そもそもあなたは I became impatient って言ったでしょ？ You said、you became impatient. Why did you become impatient? Why did you become so impatient? Everybody think. Why did she become so impatient? 分からないよね、I became impatient. 言ったってしょうがない。だからそれが出てるんですよね。聞こえるさっきのその言い方に出てきちゃって。Why did you become so impatient?
Miss Sullivan repeated attempts.
At her repeated attempts. 上の方には理由はないんですか？上の方の理由。この文章、上の方に理由、その理由。
例がいろいろ。
何ですか？ Alright, tell me. Did Helen become impatient because Miss Sullivan tried to impress it upon her that MUG is mud and that WATR is water? Is that why she became so impatient? どうですか？なぜ impatient になったかという理由なんですが、それは Was it because Miss Sullivan tried to impress it upon you, upon her that NUG is mud and that WTR is mud, WTR is water?
Miss Sullivan spelled D-O-L-L again and again, and tried to make her.
質問に答える。You are not answering my question. どうして MUG、日本で言います MUG がまず WTR のウォーターだということを言ったから、だからインペーシェントにヘレンはなったわけですか？
それがよくわからなかったというか、混同されていて、自分にはわからなかった。
君がの方がよくわかってない。 要するに、じゃあそれだけ、それもそうですよ。それだけじゃないでしょ。じゃあ何？この人形の一件ですか？ Was it because while she was playing with her new doll, Miss Sullivan tried to put her big rag doll into her lap also and spilled the oil and etc. etc. Was that why? それも入ってる。両方入ってるんですよ。ね？両方が原因となってるんですよ。わかるんですよ。理由ってこの一件があるわけですね。この一件だけで impatient になってんじゃない。That was not strong enough reason for her to become so impatient. で、これだけで impatient になってるわけでもないわけです。両方込みで、両方のことがあるからこそ、both incidents combined、ね、で、初めて strong enough reason for her to become so impatient。それがね、心の中に思われていなかったからね、だからそこのところでなんかこう impatient。I became impatient ぐらいの。そんなもんじゃないんですよ、ヘレン・ケラーにとってこの impatient の気持ちというものは。君たちビデオ見たでしょ。ものすごく破壊的になってる。それはこういうものがある。で、君は解釈者としてやっぱこういうものを頭の中に入れてくれないと困るんですが、入れた？言っただけ。なきゃいけないんですね。それでそのことを考えながら言ってもらいたいわけです。って言ったって最初からやらなきゃやれないわけです。ね。と言ったってですね、ちょっと待ってください。と言ったって具体的にどうしていいかわからないでしょ。だってさっきはやったって言われたって やったものはやったってやらないってこっちは言ってるの。それ私はやったって言われてもそれをなんか言いがかりをつけてるような感じもちょっとするわけですよ。この2つちゃんと君は言ってきたんで飛ばし読みしたわけじゃないんだけどね。しかし意識の中にないってことはよくわかるっていうことなんですね。これは。でところがさっきの読み方でもう一ついけないのはついでに言っちゃいますけれども、君はこう読んでからこう読んでからそれからI became impatient と言ったわけです。つまり大体の人は1、2と言って3とこういうふうに読んでくだろうと、もう今やらせなったって分かったわけですよ。1、2、3、1でこれ3ここでいいでしょってあかんですよ。どこにそれは書かれてある順番だからです。書かれてある順番にことが起こっているんですかねえ、書かれてある順番にことが起こっているのか、つまり例の時間配列で行によくことが起こっていればあれですよ。patient at her repeat とかそうじゃないでしょ。ところがいかにも書かれてある順番にことが起こっているように喋ってしまったっておかしいですね。What happened first?
Earlier in the day, we had a tussle over the words MUG.
どうしてこの方が前だってことが分かりますか？どうして前？どんなこと、なぜ分かります？そういうこともでも分かりますけれども、過去完了形が使ってあるでしょう。何のための過去完了形？過去完了形でこの部分が書いてあるんです。したがってねえ、この部分ね、どこからどこまでがその過去完了形の部分、影響を受けている部分、はい、みんなここから言ってワイドから始まってパパパパと真ん中飛ばしていきましたけれども、そこまでその言葉の終わりはどこまで？もっと大きなまで At the first opportunity。 これはちょっと本当は隅っこの方にどいてってくれるといいんだよね。本当はどいてってもらいたいことだったの。こういうことがあってだけどもその前に起こってたんだってことなんだって。だから only to repeat it at the first opportunity。 この first opportunity ってこれはいつのこと？いろんなことがあってそしてまたぶり返した。only to repeat it、renew it at the first opportunity っていつのこと？
Earlier in the day。
つまりこれはこっちの最初のことだったわけですよね。だから起こった順番ではこれが最初でこれが2番目でね、それからインペーションになった。だから同じ心の中に思うにしてもそういうふうなことを思ってくださいよ。いい？ 言葉に出てないところで I became impatient だから、ね、順番間違えないようにはい、まずこの一件があった、ひとしきりあった。で先生の方も頭きちゃって、もうやめちゃった。それからやめたと思ったらまたぶり返してきた人形のことでまた来たって、もう生徒の方がもういい加減に I became impatient でそれが分からなきゃ僕にもしょうがあるってことを想像すればいっぺんで分かるでしょ。始まったってまた英語の発音始まったね。はい、そうしてやってもらいたいんです。はい、やってもらいなさい。ではい、具体的にはね、この部分はどういってる感じで、ちょっとね、incidentally, by the way, earlier in the day、もっと早いうちにこういうことがあったんです。earlier in the day、ちょっとどかす感じで少し早めに言ってもらいたいんですね。みんなも一緒にやってごらん。はい。そこだけ早く、上から言って、one day からやってって。で、ここまで来たら思って、impatient に、こう、何万トンの重みを込めて、当然の理由として、patient なんだけど、みんなに impatient, sick and tired of English ってな感じで言ってるの。そんなもんじゃないの、この impatient は。彼女の場合にとっては。はい。これ以上言うとくどくなるから、やって。もう一遍言いますよ。こっち見てるこっちの顔を。I became impatient at her repeated attempts, and seizing a new doll, I dashed it upon the floor. I was keenly delighted when I felt the fragments of the broken doll at my feet. どうですか？だんだんこうイライラしてくるでしょう。感情がよう出てるじゃないですか。じゃない。違うんだ。さっき間違えてくれるとちょっとね、こういう場合都合がいいんですけれどもね、割と正しく言ってくれたんですよね。僕もがおかしい。どこがおかしい？誰か？わからんですかね。Patient, dash, delight.impatient dash という破壊的なという you are becoming more and more destructive and finally you become very destructive and would you say I became I was so delighted そんなことありっこないでしょねわかる硬くなってるんですねそんなはずはないですよねつまり impatient dash までそしてダッシュした後どういうことが起こりますか？どういうことが起こる？前田まさにどうなる？ペーシェントダッシュしてそれからどういうことが起こる？ほらこう来ましたよ書いた順番よ became impatient dashed it upon the floor and then what happens?デライトに来ちゃうんだよ大体の人は無神経に違うんですよデライトになる理由があるわどこにある理由がそう When I feel だと When I felt だとどっちだったここはね When I felt ねこれをこっちが先に起こるわけこうなってこれを確認してそれ見て出してた今度はフロア割れたこの恨みつらみのこの人形がね割れた今度自分を苦しめるこの教材の人形が割れて割れたのを確認してI became so delighted その時にはもうみんなもう本当にこうなんていうか緊張感抜けて delight になってるわけですそれだけの間がここには間を置いた方がいいっていうのはそういうことですここを我慢する踏ん張らなくてはいけませんここを踏ん張らなくてはいけませんつまりこう言ってこれを思ってここへ行くはいだから最初からみんな行くともう一回言ってみてはいこの感じとするとこれがスタートでここで1、2それから3でそれから単語で言ってください dashed もっと大きな声で、それからおっと felt the fragments で最後に delight って言った時にこの light っていう母音の膨らみの良さ、これはまさに delight でなくてはいけないんです。わかる？
But I persist in confounding the two. In despair, she had dropped that subject for the time, only to renew it at the first opportunity.
最初に戻った。はい、我慢して。
I became impatient at her.
前奏法その構想が入っているのに。I became impatient at her repeated attempts. And seizing the new doll, I dashed it. 母音聞かせて。I dashed it upon the floor. ほい、もう一遍。
I became impatient at her repeated attempts, and seizing the new doll, I dashed it upon the floor. I was keenly delighted when I felt the fragment of the broken doll at my feet.
このバケツの音が今最後に不縁以下なの。バケツの音が不縁以下なの。でも今なんかちょっと暗かったね。まだ暗かった。結局そのところね、別に芝居の教育やってるわけじゃないんだけれども、この意味わかる？ね。そうなってこうなってこういうふうに。I was keenly delighted. ここは明るく抜けないの。君たちは僕らは中年の世代に捕まえると暗いとかなんとかって言いますけれどもですね、君たち結構暗いんですよ。明るくなりきれてないんですよ。ヘレン・ケラーのような激しい体験をしてない。
Then my eyes filled with tears. For I realized what I had done, and for the first time I felt repentance and sorrow.
それは確かに今はね、今大人になったヘレン・ケラー、今ドアに入ったわけじゃない。ね。だからそいつはいいんですよね。今入ったわけじゃないけれども、当時というものの当時の観光っていうものを呼び起こそうとしているわけですから、話をしているわけですから、今のヘレン・ケラーが、だからもうちょっとその当時の気持ちというものを出してくれない？ And entering the door, I remember the doll I had broken. つまり現に自分が言ってる気持ちはどうなの？ I'm now at the door. Oh, My doll, where is my doll, where is my doll でこう慌てて探っているという感情を少し入れてごらんなさい。ね。もう悠々と落ち着いちゃって、もう就職決まったって感じで言ってますけど、はい。
On entering the door, I remember the door I had broken. I felt my way to the hearth and picked up the pieces. I tried.
なんで僕の顔見るんですか
？I tried vainly to.
vainly ってね、vainly が先、ここがちょっと残念だね。I remember the doll I had broken. I felt my way to the hearth and picked up the pieces. I tried to put them together, but in vain. とこれは起こった順番で、だけど失敗したなってことは分かるけども、vainly が先来ちゃって、I tried vainly to put them together. だからこの vainly、早々と来ちゃってますから、この vainly をどう捉えていいかと、どういうふうにこう考えていいか、ちょっと分かりにくいでしょう。I tried vainly。もうこの vainly のところでも失敗したんだってことが分かってる。I tried vainly to put them together. Then my eyes filled with tears. こうなるわけです。早々とvainlyが来てるから、そこに少し気持ちを込めてくださいよ。Put them together はいくら大きなこと言ったってどうにもなんない。Put them together はもう初めからやろうとしていることなんです。vainly だったから泣けてくるんですから、とんでもないことをしちゃったんだなになるんですから。さっきの各感でもあれと同じですよ。少し早めに来てるわけです、この副詞がね。そこを捉えてみんなちょっと言ってごらん。Tried vainly to put them together. Then 自然に泣けてくる。My eyes filled with tears, for I realized what I had done. And for the first time, I felt repentance and sorrow. はい。OK、 That's all for our analysis. By next class period, I want you to have read this aloud many times to the extent that you can almost reproduce the whole thing, okay? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. At our last class period, we analyzed the passage. Based on that analysis, I'm sure you have been practicing it very hard. Now, today, I'd like for you to demonstrate just to what extent you have internalized the material. First of all, I'd like somebody to come up here and read it aloud in front of the audience. Any volunteer?
Mr. Omi?
Mrs. Mai?
One day, while I was playing with my new doll, Miss Sullivan put my big rag doll into my lap also, spelled D-O-L-L, and tried to make me understand that D-O-L-L applied to both. Earlier in the day, we had a tussle over the words M-U-G and W-A-T-E-R. Miss Sullivan had tried to impress it upon me that M-U-G is mug and that W-A-T-E-R is water. But I persisted in confounding the two. In despair, she had dropped the subject for the time, only to renew it at the first opportunity. I became impatient at her repeated attempts, and seizing the new doll, I dashed it upon the floor. I was keenly delighted when I felt the broken doll at my feet. Neither sorrow nor regret followed my passionate outburst. I had not loved the doll. In the still dark world in which I lived, there was no strong sentiment of tenderness. I felt my teacher sweep the fragments to one side of the hearth, and I had a sense of satisfaction that the cause of my discomfort was removed. She brought me my hat, and I knew I was going out into the warm sunshine. This thought, if a wordless sensation may be called a thought, made me hop and skip with pleasure. We walked down the path to the well house, attracted by the fragrance of the honeysuckle with which it was covered. Someone was drawing water, and my teacher placed my hand under the spout. As the cool stream gushed over one hand, she spelled into the other the word water, first slowly, then rapidly. I stood still, my whole attention fixed upon the motions of her fingers. Suddenly, I felt a misty consciousness as of something forgotten, a thrill of returning thought, and somehow the mystery of language was revealed to me. I knew then that W-A-T-E-R meant the wonderful cool something that was flowing over my hand. The living word awakened my soul, gave it light, hope, joy, and set it free. Oh, they were very still, it is true, but barriers that could in time be swept away. I left the well house, eager to learn. Everything had a name, and each name gave birth to a new thought. As we returned to the house, every object which I touched seemed to quiver with life. That was because I saw everything with a strange new sight that had come to me. On entering the door, I remembered the doll I had broken. I felt my way to the hearth and picked up the pieces. I tried vainly to put them together. Then my eyes filled with tears, for I realized what I had done. And for the first time, I felt repentance and sorrow.
All right, so that's it. I'm going to ask you some questions. But in the meantime, you close your textbooks, you see. You have to answer my questions from memory. And I don't want a yes-no answer. I want a longer answer. Because I'm interested in testing just how far you have, like I said before, internalized this whole passage, okay? what I'd like to ask you next is what you and Miss Sullivan did after the cause of your discomfort was removed. Well, try to answer it yourself. How about you? Well, first of all, you felt attracted by the fragrance of honeysuckle, which you discovered, and then what did you do? Now, what did you see there? You saw. What did you see?
The warehouse.
Warehouse.
And someone was drawing water, and my teacher took my hand to under the spout.
Under the spout.
And she, while the water was flowing over my one hand,
Flowing over
she
your hand.
spelled
Here, and she spelled the
into
word
my other hand. My other
into
hand.
the other hand, and then
Try to make
you understand that you take over.
Suddenly, I realized that the WTL means that something very cool and crashing over my head. Oh, that was what I understand at the time. I understood at the time finally. And I'm very interested in everything new around my life.
Let me ask you this: was the relationship between Miss Sullivan, between you and Miss Sullivan, all peaches and cream? I mean, was it all rosy? Did everything go okay? How about you? Why don't you come up here and tell us about your earlier experiences? What kind of teacher Miss Sullivan was? Come over here. I want you to talk. I want you to tell us about what kind of teacher Miss Sullivan was. You remember everything, don't you? Huh? Tell us.
Miss Sullivan was very sportive and very kind to me. And I shall be grateful the rest of my life because she showed me a new world in which I didn't know it existed. For example, one day while I was playing with my new doll, Miss Sullivan put my big rag doll into my lap and spelled doll, D-O-L-L, and tried to make me understand that the word doll applied to both. Earlier in the day, we had a tussle over the word mug and water.
I see. So you became impatient, huh?
Yes, I became very impatient because she kept on pressing me that mug and water is two different things while I kept persisting and confounding the two. In despair, she gave up the subject for a time, and then she only brought it up in the next opportunity, and I became impatient. It was so frustrating, and seizing the new doll, I dashed it up on the floor.
Wow. What happened to the doll?
It broke.
Yeah. It broke. They dashed it on the floor, and then?
And it broke, and then I was keenly satisfied when I released the tension that was building inside me. And then
And what?
Then nothing, like no regret or sorrow followed my passionate outburst.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize now that I hadn't loved the doll.
Yeah, in the still dark world in which you lived, there was no strong sentiment of tenderness. No such thing, right? Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mi. This time you practice among yourselves. So practice with your neighbor. One doing the interviewer and the other doing Helen. And then later you turn the table, okay? I'll give you about 5 minutes.
You learn on the first day of
could continue after class, all right? Now, I'd like to introduce another series of exercises. And that's called partial imitation practice, my invention. To start off with, how about this? Question number 1. With your permission. You are a great pianist. You are a great pianist now. But you used to be so clumsy. And you wondered why you were so clumsy. Well, one day you went to a piano concert and listened to the performance. Listened to the pianist. Your whole attention fixed upon the motions of his fingers. Suddenly you felt the mystery of natural performance was revealed to you. You knew then that the most important thing is to relax your body muscles. I'm going once again. You're a great pianist now, but you used to be so clumsy and you wondered why you were so clumsy. Well, one day you went to a piano concert and listened to the pianist, your whole attention fixed upon the motions of his fingers. Suddenly you felt the mystery of natural performance was revealed to you. You knew then that the most important thing is to relax your body muscles. Now the question. You know, you impress me as a very skillful player. You impress me as a very skillful piano player. Have you always been so good?
No, at least not before I went to a piano concert. There I learned that, I felt, before I went to the concert, I felt I was really clumsy. But while I was listening to the performance, I felt something strange.
Okay, now repeat after me. I used to be so clumsy.
I used to be so clumsy.
Well, one day I went to a piano concert. I listened to the pianist, my whole attention fixed upon the motions of his fingers. Suddenly,
I listened to the pianist, my attention fixed on the fingers, on the motions of his fingers.
You felt, or I should say, I felt the mystery of natural performance was revealed to me. I knew then that the most important thing is to relax your body muscles. Very good. There was a small chapel right behind南山College. You remember one afternoon after class, you walked down the path to the chapel attracted by the fragrance of the honeysuckle with which it was covered. You know, I saw you the other day walking on the campus of Nanzan Junior College. You walk often on the campus. You enjoy walking. Do you?
Yes. One day after the class, I walked down the path to the small chapel in the南山 Junior College. I was attracted by the fragrance of this small covered by the honeysuckle. So I was attracted by the fragrance.
I see. Okay, I'll repeat after me, everybody. There was a small chapel behind London Junior College. You remember one afternoon after class, you walked down the path to the chapel. Attracted by the fragrance of the honeysuckle with which it was covered. All right, one more question. You ready? Earlier during the course, Mr. Omi had tried to impress it upon you that Exactly is not exactly, but exactly. But you persisted in confounding the two. In despair, Mr. Omi had dropped the subject, saying you are hopeless, only to renew it at the next class. You became impatient at his repeated attempts, and holding the bag, you almost left the classroom, saying, what difference does it make as long as you can make yourself understood? Again, earlier during the course, Mr. Omi had tried to impress it upon you that exactly is not exactly, but exactly. But you persisted in confounding the two. In despair, Mr. Omi had dropped the subject, saying you are hopeless, only to renew it at the next class. You became impatient at his repeated attempts, and holding your bag, you almost left the classroom, saying, what difference does it make as long as you can make yourself understood? Now, tell me, were you a very patient student?
No, I became very impatient at his repeated attempts because during his class, Mr. Omi impressed it upon me that gently is not gently, gently is not gently, but gently. But I persisted in confining the two, so I became very impatient.
I see. Okay. Repeat after me. Earlier during the course, Mr. Omi had tried to impress it upon me that exactly is